So one of the solutions to isolation is marriage, and the other one is money. In biblical nomenclature, the word bread is used as a metaphor for money, and that's quite common until certainly in many countries around the world, people still say, have you got any bread on you? Could you lend me some dough for making bread, right? It's the idea that bread is a metaphor for money is quite well known, and so the next thing that God introduces Adam and Eve to is the phrase, "By the sweat of your brow you will eat bread," and that's not part of the punishment; that's part of the solution. In other words, avoid isolation by making money.
Hey, I'm Dr. Keith Johnson, and I help men become dangerously confident in the four main domains of life: spiritually, relationally, physically, and financially. Thank you so much for joining us for this Dangerous Men Show. Man, today I'm so excited. I have my good friend, Rabbi Daniel Lapin, on with us today. Man, I'm going to tell you, this guy, he is going to rock your world. You're not going to want to miss this. He's got a new book out. He's the author of the best-selling book, Thou Shall Prosper. He also has an amazing business book, and he's got a brand new book coming out to help you in the dynamics of growing holistically, which you all know that I believe very, very strongly in all of this. So I'm super excited about having him on. Listen, guys, when we talk about being a dangerous man, you can't be a dangerous man without a weapon. I mean, it would be laughable, right? It would be laughable if you're out on the battlefield and you're in a fight and you have absolutely no weapon at all, and the other person on the other side has a tank and you have nothing, right? Well, the Bible tells us from one of the richest men in the history of the world, King Solomon. In Ecclesiastes, King Solomon said that wisdom is a defense, and he also said money is a defense. What does that mean? That means, my friend, that money is a weapon in the hands of the right person. And so when you have a right heart, a right mind, and you want to do good, God wants to put money in your hands so that you can be not only a blessing to your family and provide for your family as a man, which is your number one responsibility, but you can also be a blessing to your extended family, to your church, to your community, and to help others. How can we help others? How can we make a difference, guys, if we have no money? And so, as I've taught you over and over and over again, it's very important to understand that money is a reward to those who solve problems. And our goal is to what? It's to help solve somebody's problem, meet somebody's need, heal somebody's pain. And as we do that, what my good or great rabbi, not good, he's a great rabbi, what my great rabbi says is that money is a form of appreciation for you helping them solve problems and meet their needs. I so love this. Rabbi Daniel Lapin, welcome to the Dangerous Men Show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Dr. Keith. I've been looking forward to this for a long time because I feel so privileged to stand shoulder to shoulder with you with the incredibly valuable work you are doing and the way you are helping to deliver so many men from lives that are less than they could actually be.
Thank you so much, Rabbi. What do you think? I mean, you see me, transition now into focusing on men. It's a new thing for me. I mean, I didn't really realize it. I've been helping and serving men, coaching them and consulting them for 25 plus years. But all of a sudden, like in this new season of my life, I think as I get older, I see the big need out there. I see fatherless uh, children, fatherless men. People have never been fathered before, never been mentored before, never been coached before. And I just see the heartbreak and the pain in men all around me. And it just doesn't seem like anybody's out there to help them. It just seems like men just keep getting kicked to the curb, put down, being felt like they're less than, that they're not important to the world. What do you see in this as you see me moving into this new dimension? What are your thoughts?
Well, it strikes me as completely logical and a perfectly natural progression because when I help couples, I do a certain amount of couple marriage coaching. More often than not, I say to the woman, you know what? You can go home. You can leave our Zoom call and we'll call you if we need you. But right now, I think we can solve 80% of the problems if I work with your husband. And that's because when God created the lights on the fourth day of creation in Genesis chapter 1, it says there he created the two great lights. And in what way, the two great lights are the sun and the moon, but they're not exactly equal to one another. When he said the two great lights, what does he mean? He should have said, I created a big light and a small light. But instead, if you look at the verse, in the fourth day of creation, it says God created the two big lights, and then he made the big one rule over the day and the smaller one rule over the night. Well, why didn't he say God made a big light and a small light, one for the day, one for the why? What's this two big lights? And an interesting thing is that for God's good reasons, he made the apparent size of the sun and the moon the same. What I mean to say is that although the sun is thousands and thousands of times bigger than the moon, when you look up in the sky, and if you took a paper card and you cut a disc in it, and you then move that card to the point where it just lets the sun shine through. Kids, don't do this at home. And if you then took that same card and you did the moon that night, full moon, you'll find the card in exactly the same place. In other words, in an eclipse, the moon exactly covers the sun. You know why? Because it comes out to be the same size. Although it's much smaller, it is much closer. And so big, big sun far away, little moon nearby, and the moon and the sun are the same size. And that's hinted at when God says, and God created the two great lights. They both, to our eyes, they come across the same. So what's the difference between them? And the difference between them, ancient Hebrew wisdom tells us, is that the sun is the source of the light and the moon is reflective of that light. And God gave them the sun a 365-day cycle, but he gave the moon a 30-day cycle. And that was in order to approximate the natural rhythm of most women. And the idea is that none of us should miss the obvious point that God is telling us here, which is that the moon resembles the woman and the sun resembles the man. And in that sense, a woman reflects the light of the man, meaning that I'm obviously not saying she's incapable of originality. That's not what I'm saying. But in
Right.
terms of the relationship, she reflects, and that therefore, if there's something wrong with the marriage, the first place to start is with the man, because that's the source of the light. And if it's coming off badly from the woman, well, she's just being a reflector. It's not her fault. She's getting bad light to begin with. And so working with a man is a wonderful first step and exactly the right place to be, because one of the big problems in marriage obviously is when the financial balance is damaged. One of the ways the financial balance is damaged is if the wife earns more money than the husband. Very, very tough situation.
Bad,
And I'll tell you
bad.
the truth, marriages in that situation do not last long.
Mhm.
Unless the only exception is if they've been married for 25 years, shall we say, and at that point his earnings go down and hers go up and she starts earning more, the marriage can survive then. But if this is in the first 10 years of marriage or less, it's not going to be good. And so it needs a lot of help to deal with that kind of situation, because it is true that in many situations, women are earning more than men. And it's interesting that the fertility rate and the marriage rate are very down in America, way down, below replacement rate. Replacement rate is every woman should have 2.1 children, and in America it's about 1.6. But the exceptions are Utah County and Rockland County in New York, and a county in North Carolina, and the county in Texas around Odessa. And the reason is because in those four counties, fertility is up. Children are being born. You know why? Because people have healthy marriages. You know why they got healthy marriages? Well, in Utah County, they're all religious Latter-day Saints. And in Rockland County, New York, they're all religious Jews. And in North Carolina, there are three military bases. And one of the things that military bases do is give men their proper role. And so military marriages are much more successful than the general population for that reason. Also, married military guys get a bigger allowance, and altogether, marriages in the military do very well. And then finally, Odessa has jobs for men, not jobs for women. Odessa is the center of the Texas oil industry. And I don't know about your experience, Dr. Keith, but I don't know a whole lot of women working on wellheads and drilling rigs. That's man's work, and every woman knows it and is grateful not to be doing it. And so men have money in Odessa. Men do well in the military, and men do well in a religious environment where the role of the husband and the father is respected rather than denigrated. And one of the terrible things that the welfare industrial complex of the United States government from 1960 is essentially told women you don't need men. And in that sort of situation, we guys head for the hills. Who needs to be there?
Wow, you are already blowing me away. I mean, I've been saying for so long that men need to rise up and be the kings. And every queen needs a king, and that really within the home, because God said, I made a helper for the man. So if you're a king, you're to lead the home by vision. You're supposed to have a vision of who you want to become, what you want to do, a future for you and your family. And then once you lead, then the queen has a purpose, because now she has something to help. But if the king's not leading, he then is unhealthy. And now an unhealthy king produces an unhealthy kingdom. So the
What
woman
would you
doesn't have
say?
a purpose. She's miserable. She doesn't know what's wrong with her. you know,
What would you say are the three biggest mistakes that guys do in marriage?
Problem number one, the man's not leading. Problem number two is that the man, and I'm going to sound really old fashioned here.
Marriage is quite an old-fashioned institution.
I'm burdened by the fact that we don't have men saying, I want to earn the money and I want my wife to stay home
There you
and I
go.
want her to take care of me and I want her to take care of the kids. And I'm not going to be dependent upon, we're not going to depend on two incomes to support us. And I've got to come to
100%.
understanding is that this little job I'm working right now is not paying me enough money. And I've got to do something to prosper. I got to do something to make more money so my wife can stay home.
Yeah. No, that's 100% correct. I list them in the follow order. Number one, and I think I'm saying the same thing as you probably, except I may be putting a little bit more meat on the topic. Um, so uh, one of the big mistakes guys make is uh, they their wife sees them sitting around watching videos. We should be aware that
And sports, and sports,
passively, sorry,
videos and sports and TV and Netflix.
anything, watching videos or TV, or sitting on the couch or in bed watching a video, your wife sees you do that, you shrink in her eyes, whether she does that consciously or not. And it really does work that way. As a matter of fact, guys' testosterone goes down with watching screens, and their estrogen female hormone goes up. So watching a screen is a really, really bad idea, particularly if your wife sees it. Number two, part of that is also if you never, never, gentlemen, I'm talking directly to all of you, never, ever get up in the morning later than your wife. Don't let that happen. Do not let your wife head out the door to work while you're still in bed. Do not let your wife get up and give the kids breakfast while you're still in bed. Again, you shrink in her eyes to nothing. And a man who is shrunken in his wife's eyes is frankly just the same as a man who's shrunken in every other important area. So that's really destructive. The second point is hugely important. I know it's hard, and I know you may have to work a side gig or two jobs or whatever it is, but telling your wife she doesn't have to work. You like working, honey, go for it. God bless you. But any day you want to stay home and call it quits, you're welcome to do that. And saying that is huge. And number three, begging for sex is a really, really, really problematic idea.
Well, what you just covered was four: watching the screens, getting up early before your wife,
I put those two
making money,
together.
and
I put
begging
those
for
two
sex.
together. Um, Not sitting around and not lying around is one thing.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Whether it's watching screens or lying in bed or whatever it is, you
Okay.
have to be. You obviously have to be a man of action, but even more importantly than that, your wife has to see you as a man of action, and it's hard because we've fallen into bad habits.
I blow guys away on this, Rabbi. But when I first married my wife, I told her that she would never have to work another day of her life, that I would provide, I would take care of her. I just asked her to manage the money. I'll make it. You stay home, manage the money. And here's what blows guys away about this whole scenario. And I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I get up even earlier. And all the things you're saying, I don't watch much TV. I don't know what this show's going on and that football team and this. I don't know all that stuff.
If you got to watch a screen, go out to a shed in the garden or go somewhere else, but don't let your wife see you watching a screen.
Don't let her see it. I like it. But here's the thing, Rabbi. My wife has never denied me sex in 34 years of marriage.
Well, that is a very important testament to the health of the marriage. And I will tell you, without knowing any details, I will tell you a lot of that is due to you making that promise to your wife at the beginning that she'll never have to go to work and following through on that. And that is one of the main reasons you are a happy man.
I agree with you. Thank you for confirming that, because I get pushback from some of these guys. They like, they say, well, one guy said, well, that's because you're so good looking. I'm like, dude, first of all, don't tell another dude he's good looking, okay? That's not a sign of a dangerous man.
And I will tell you that when it comes to women, any women over the age of 16 are attracted to men because of what they do, not because of how they look.
Wow. I see that. That's 100%. Because bottom line, right? is that women want a man of value and men want beauty. I mean, it comes
Yes,
it's just that
correct.
simple. It's not that difficult. Well, this is a lightning fire message from my favorite rabbi in the entire world. You guys know I love this guy. Let's give a big shout out for Rabbi Daniel Lapin. He is rocking it already,
I
man.
don't mind being your second most important rabbi behind Rabbi Jesus, but
Okay, yeah, well, that's true.
I don't want to fall further down than second position.
Oh, yeah. All right. All right. Yeah. I'm sorry. My second favorite rabbi. But I really thankful for you, my brother. And hey, we want to go to a quick break real quick. Listen, guys, one of the key factors of this whole thing, because I know we're talking direct, and some of you guys, you're really getting your butts kicked, and you're complaining about lack of sex from your wife. And a lot of it's because of what Rabbi just said. And I've been telling you guys this, that women are wearing high-heeled shoes. They have more education, more opportunities. They're making more money. And a woman who is taller than you is not attracted to short men. You get that? So you've got to grow. You've got to say, as a man, if you want to change the things at the home, you can't just stay satisfied with going to your same old job that you hate for years and years and years, coming home like Rabbi's saying, and just watching sports and playing video games. You've got to take initiative and say, wait a minute, I've got to figure something else out. Some of you, you haven't even tried to apply for something to make more money. You're not even seeking anything any better. And it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Guys, you've got to wake up. And that's why we've started this dangerous show, man. You got to get out of what's dangerous? Dangerous is getting out of your comfort zone. It's leaving the comfortable and going out into the unknown and daring to take risk. That's what men do. Strong men do. So listen, I want to go to a quick break, but I want you to go, guys, because one of the key things to getting out of that box is you got to have confidence. And I created a brand new, it takes 2 minutes, guys, a confidence assessment test for men. And I'm going to run just real quick a link on where you can go. It's free. I just created it. It'll pinpoint exactly how confident you are and then give you some instructions on how to build your confidence back up, because it's way low. If you're not having sex with your wife, if she's making more money than you, if you're feeling like giving up, your confidence is down the toilet and you need to start repairing it so we can get you back on track. So listen, we're going to go to a quick break. We're going to come right back and we're going to dig deeper into this subject. And we're going to talk about in this next segment, that new book, not new book, but the old book, Thou Shall Prosper. I'm going to ask him some questions about that. That's a powerful title. We'll see you in just a minute. It's time to stop lying to yourself. You're not operating at full confidence, and it shows in your body, your bank account, and your relationships. Every man hits that wall eventually, and here's the thing. Confidence is a skill, not some feeling. It's measurable, it's buildable, it's transformational. Take the Dangerous Men Confidence Assessment right now. It's free, takes 2 minutes, and it'll show you exactly where you're strong, where you're being soft, and a plan to fix it. Go to dangerouscoalition.com/score. Don't guess, know. Your next level is waiting, but only if you're dangerous enough to face it and chase it. I want you to talk to us. A Man and His Money. You came out with that book, Thou Shall Prosper. What a powerful title. Now, as you know, we've got guys on here who who love Jesus, are Christians, and there's so much wrong belief systems that Christians have bought into. I mean, we're reading the same Old Testament scriptures, the same Bible, the same book, and yet we got guys who still think that God wants them to be poor, that God wants them to exist in a middle class living, going paycheck to paycheck to paycheck,
Yeah.
and dying, and somebody else has to pay for their funeral. Rabbi, help me with this concept from a Jewish perspective. You listen, guys. Now, am I right about this, Rabbi? You're fluent in Hebrew. You can literally take the Bible, open it up, and read the original Hebrew text.
In the Old Testament, yeah, sure.
In the Old Testament, word for word. Okay, guys? This isn't some guy. Listen, I want to set this up. This is not some guy, some hot dog that got a Bible and started reading the Bible and says, I got an opinion on this. And I read this in the scripture. This is a guy who's taking the original text and teaching directly from it. Okay? That's why I wanted to bring Rabbi Daniel Lapin on. I keep wanting to call him Bishop. I always call him Bishop sometimes. But Daniel Lapin, talk to us about this, okay? Talk to us as Christians about how our history of the patriarchs and how we've inherited that history for us through Christ.
Yeah. So the problem you put is exactly right, that many people believe that God thinks that if you're poor, you must be specially good for him, that you're a real child of God if you're poor. And a large part of that is some fairly negative anti-money sounding things that I'm afraid are all in the New Testament, not in the Old Testament. And the book of Genesis starts right off chapter 2, where God says it's not good for man to be alone. And there and then, the events that then take place walk us through the antidote to aloneness. God doesn't like us to be isolated and alone. And so he says two things. Number one, he says, I'm going to create a woman, a man, a helper opposite him. And so marriage is one solution to escaping isolation. And what I mean by that is not only that the man has the company of a wife, but even more importantly, in the overwhelming majority of families, the social life of the family is a consequence of the wife, not the husband. When I speak to live audiences, I ask all the time, in your family, would you put up your hands if it is the man, the husband, the father, who keeps up with birthdays and anniversaries and Christmas cards and New Year's cards? And no hands go up, because everybody knows that it is the mother or the wife of a family that keeps in touch with everybody. So, guys, your entire social life changes when you're married, when you're in a good marriage. As a matter of fact, one of the things I teach my clients, and I do a lot of coaching based on our new book, The Holistic You, and I say to guys, if you've got a healthy marriage, you know you have a healthy marriage when you start finding business transactions taking place with people you only met because of your wife or your kids. And once you're running your marriage correctly, It happens all the time. So one of the solutions to isolation is marriage, and the other one is money. In biblical nomenclature, the word bread is used as a metaphor for money, and that's quite common until certainly in many countries around the world, people still say, have you got any bread on you? Could you lend me some dough for making bread, right? It's the idea that bread is a metaphor for money is quite well known, and so the next thing that God introduces Adam and Eve to is the phrase, "By the sweat of your brow you will eat bread," and that's not part of the punishment; that's part of the solution. In other words, avoid isolation by making money. Because unless you're making money by walking into a convenience store with a 357 Magnum revolver, you are making money by serving other human beings, by serving God's other children. And so God says, go for it. Go and make money, because the only way you're going to make money is by serving my other children. The only way you're going to serve my other children is if they find that you are best able to supply them with with the things they need, like you said, Dr. Keith. If you can supply them with the goods and services they need, they'll work with you. And all of us prefer working with people whom we know, like, and trust. And so be the right sort of person. Be likable, knowable, and trustworthy, and uh, and then go out and make money. And you're going to meet people and befriend people, and that's the truth. I mean, when I go to weddings in the Jewish community, one of my most fun activities is asking people whether they're related to the bride or the groom, and I know the answer. The majority of guests are there because they do business with the bride's father or the groom's father. That's you end up friends with the people you do business with for many years. So marriage and money are the two escape routes from isolation and loneliness.
Wow. Wow. Never saw it that way before. You just open up my mind every time we start talking about this. You know what I found out about marriage? I found out that that I had to double my income. I found out that I found out that now I was taking care of myself, and now not only was I responsible for myself, I had to have increased thoughts because now I had to take care of somebody else that I didn't have
Yeah,
expense
but
to
again,
have.
in a good marriage, being in a good marriage helps you make much more money.
Why is that?
Oh, for some of the reasons I've mentioned, which is that a woman's social connections help her husband in business, number one. Number two, people trust a married man more than they trust a single man, for good
Wow.
reason. The overwhelming majority of violent criminals are single men.
Whoa. That is a huge point. I never thought of that from that
Yeah.
perspective.
So in men, married men make far, far more money. And in fact, one of the places we see this is that it's a popular misconception that the African American community in America are poor because of racism and because of skin color. It's not. They're poor because they're single. Marriage is very low in the African American community compared to other communities. And when you are basically married, black men make much more money than single white men. The key is not skin color, the key is marriage.
Wow. Wow. And guys, hey, we have some brothers that listen to me. Um, I'm seeing some new statistics that are coming out. And when you look at the percentage of married blacks prior to the civil rights movement to where we are at today, guys, it is a
We've gone
downhill
downhill. We've gone downhill, not
spiral.
uphill.
No, and nobody wants to talk about that root cause of no fathers being in the homes
Yeah,
anymore,
exactly right.
and also the dynamic of the incomes when they started to research how much our black brothers were making during the civil rights movement compared to where they are at today, even
Yeah,
that's down. So it's a big, big, big
yeah,
problem. So you want to be a king? Well, being a king isn't about your ego. It's about serving your brothers, because real leaders don't just sit there while their brothers suffer in silence. You've got guys in your circle in bad marriages, broke as a joke, drifting spiritually, and letting their bodies go. You know who they are. You probably thought of a few as I was saying that. So here's your next move. Hit the share and get 5 of them to join this men's movement. Because if you're really a king, you won't just rise alone, you'll bring your brothers with you. Listen, everybody, I want you to go and check out Rabbi Daniel's stuff. Can you just share your website, where they can go to connect
Dr.
with
Keith,
you?
of course. It's at RabbiDanielLapin.com. Rabbi Daniel Lapin, just as you see over there under my picture, RabbiDanielLapin.com. One word.
Wonderful, wonderful. And he's got a podcast. Tell him about your podcast, because, man, that's exploding. I know that.
Yeah, well, again, we're talking about the things that really matter in life. And I believe much more than politics. We care about our families and our finances, and we talk about that and provide very practical, very real guidance.
Great, great, great. Thank you so much,
Why,
Rabbi
thank you
Daniel.
for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to be with you.
Ditto. God bless you, and we will talk to you later.
I look forward. Thanks a lot.
Thank
All
you.
righty. Take care. Bye.
Well, everybody, man, I'm so excited, man. I mean, what a time we had together here today. It's been so powerful. Listen, this is just a sample of some of the teachings and the trainings that you get inside of our Dangerous Coalition men's group. I want to just give you some more information about this group. I want you to be a part of it, guys. I mean, we've got to start growing. We've got to start really working on ourselves. And the 2 things men need, they need connection with other men who have some testosterone, who want to do big things, who want to make money, who want to make a difference, who want to do both of these things. And if that's you, if you're hungry for more and you really want help, mentoring, every month I mentor these guys. Every month I'm going to help you. You don't have to be alone. You don't have to do this alone. You got somebody right here. I'm Dr. J, and I want to help you. Go to dangerouscoalition.com. I'm going to come and tell you a little bit more about this, but I hope to see you over there. God bless you and Godspeed. Ever feel like something's just off? Your body's slipping, your marriage is strained, and your income is stalled, and no one around you can push you to win. It's not your fault. You're just hanging out in the wrong circles. Ecclesiastes says, pity a man who walks alone, because if he falls, he's in trouble. So I'm inviting you into the Dangerous Coalition, an elite brotherhood for high-achieving men ready to dominate in every domain in life. Join me at dangerouscoalition.com and watch where God takes you in the days to come. It'll be more than you ever thought possible. Godspeed, my friend.